This is a pre-recorded presentation to be used as a side event for the 24 November 2020 Day of the Climate Professionals video conference. The conference is sponsored by Youth Climate Leaders. My name is Wayne Muhlendyke. I am the Managing Director of Active Climate Rescue Initiative. Obviously, I am no longer a youth. I am 69 years old and I live in the United States. Specifically, I live in Michigan, which is a nice place to live. We have abundant fresh water and lush forests. We have very little pollution and only a few large cities. Climate change in Michigan is not a big problem. In Michigan, we kind of like global warming because it makes our winters warmer and shorter. But I can see where it's a problem in other parts of the world. Active Climate Rescue Initiative has only one initiative, which is called Move the Water. My goal is to introduce you to Move the Water and to enlist your help in communicating this beneficial initiative to your local governments. The scope of Move the Water is such that it will only be accomplished with the support of local governments. The only energy used is that which is used to install the infrastructure. Once it's accomplished, it's done. It doesn't have to be repeated. It's not difficult to maintain, and the benefits will continue for decades using only natural processes and no energy. My work background has an engineering foundation. I have worked in various engineering capacities at various companies. One of the jobs of an engineer is to look at a broken system and figure out how to repair the system, how to improve the system so that it works better, and how to do that at a minimal cost. I can see that global warming can be viewed as a broken system, and this concerns many people. So I looked at global warming from an engineering perspective. I asked, what's broken? How can it be fixed? The obvious thing with global warming is that the environment is getting warmer. From one perspective, this isn't a bad thing. If the Earth didn't reflect back the sun's solar radiation and heat the environment, we would end up with a frozen planet. The complaint is that it is getting warmer than normal. We know that not all the places around the world are the same temperature. We know that some are warmer than others. The biggest effect we can have on climate change is if we can cool the hottest places. It's essential to identify the hottest places and then study and figure out how to cool them. Making the hottest places cooler will ultimately cool the whole planet. It became apparent that the hottest places in our environment are the deserts. If we cool the deserts, we will have a large impact on global warming. So what makes deserts so hot? Is it their location on the planet? That's what I thought at first, but it turns out that the hottest places on the planet should be along the equator, but that's not the case. Deserts are in the tropics. This is an area where the Hadley cell is active. For those of you that don't know, the Hadley cell is an environmental phenomenon where the moisture is removed from the tropics and delivered to the equator. It's global. It circles the globe. It's been going on for years. But parts of the tropics are green and lush, and parts of the tropics are deserts. So the Hadley cell cannot be the primary driver as to why the deserts are created in the tropics. Obviously, deserts are dry. They have a moisture deficit. The atmospheric moisture comes from evaporation. Much evaporation originates from large bodies of water, like oceans and lakes. Many deserts are close to large bodies of water, yet they still have a moisture deficit. Deserts frequently have a mountain range between them and the water. The mountains block the water from getting to the deserts. There's a weather phenomenon called the rain shadow effect. I believe this is why a desert can exist close to an ocean. The rain shadow effect works this way. Warm, dry air over an ocean will pick up evaporated water from the ocean. This moist air is blown onshore. As it continues its travel onshore and encounters a mountain range, the air moves up the mountain. As the air rises up the mountain, the air cools. Cool air cannot hold as much water as warm air. As the air cools, the water is extracted from the air in the form of rain or snow. The air continues blowing over the mountain, but what goes over the mountain is dry air. The land on the far side of the mountain does not get the moisture. This is the beginning of the desert. Conceptually, a desert can be changed into a lush green environment by adding more moisture. This is the fundamental concept behind Move the Water. Oversimplified, the goal of Move the Water is to take the water and put it into deserts so that it will encourage evaporation, rain, and plant growth. Now I know what you're thinking. How can we move the water into a desert? Where are we going to put it? Are we going to need huge tanks? Are we going to have to pump it uphill in pipes to get it there? The solution to moving the water into deserts is much simpler than at first seems. In reality, it's not hard at all, but it will take man's intervention if we want to do it under controlled circumstances. Theoretically, if global warming continues unabated, the ocean levels rise at unprecedented amounts. The ocean will fill the deserts automatically on their own. This would be catastrophic. We can avoid the catastrophic. We can make a controlled input of water into the deserts, and in that process, we'll be moving toward reversing global warming. Around the world are 11 places that are hot and dry, deserts which are below sea level. Move the Water proposes that we take the ocean water and put it into the desert depressions. The plan for putting the water there is very simply digging a ditch. A ditch, a river, a canal, tunnel, the concept is all the same. We wish to install a gravity flow water path from the ocean into the desert. At this point, I often get the question about the ocean water salt. The ocean water is salty, thus we're putting salt water into the desert. Isn't that a problem? The answer to that is no, it's not a problem. These 11 places have all been heavily salted in the past. So salt is not new to these places, so salt is not a problem. Doing this infrastructure project will have some energy use in the front end to install the gravity flow water path. To move the water will not require any pumps. We'll use the Earth's gravity to do the work. Because we are moving the water into below sea level places, no tanks are needed. As the water moves into the desert depression, the first benefit that we see is that we have lowered the ocean level. Just a little bit. Not a lot, but each of the 11 places will lower the ocean level a little bit. Once the water arrives in the desert, in the hot, dry environment, it starts to evaporate. As the water evaporates, it pulls more water from the ocean, continuing to lower the ocean level. Evaporation is a cooling event. So as the water evaporates, it cools the local environment. What evaporates up must come down in the form of rain, mist, or snow. Rain is a cooling event. It cools the local environment. Where rain is present, plants flourish. Plants are local little air conditioners. They cool their local environment. Plants are also made up of about 50% water. The plants store that water in their own little tiny bodies, and they don't return it back to the environment right away. The natural process of photosynthesis makes the plant a natural carbon sink. They pull the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and use the carbon to build their tiny plant bodies. This carbon is not returned to the atmosphere until the plant is destroyed by fire. When the plant dies, the carbon is incorporated into the soil, and the carbon is stored in the soil. The plants also shade the soil, which causes local cooling. The cooler soil allows rainwater to percolate into the soil, to be stored in the soil, and to seep deeper into fresh underground aquifers. This is all water that is not being returned to the ocean. That's just how simple this is. Move the water out of the ocean into the desert. using gravity flow, no energy, and using natural processes to lower ocean levels, cool local environments, clean the air, and sequester carbon, ultimately cooling the whole Earth. Move the Water is simple, elegant, and inexpensive. It is not the only thing to be done to combat global warming, but it is certainly one thing that must be accomplished. I need your help to accomplish Move the Water. I need you to promote our videos within YouTube. By watching these videos, by commenting on them, and by sharing the videos, you will be promoting the videos within YouTube so that more people see them. When someone does a search within YouTube, YouTube chooses which videos to show in the search results. Videos which have higher views, more likes or dislikes, and more comments show up more often than other videos. You will be helping just by watching the videos. I need your help to promote our videos in your social media. We need to spread this message to the whole world so that everybody understands its importance and what action needs to be taken to accomplish Move the Water. Please share our videos. As is normal for a nonprofit, we need donations so that we can advertise this message to the world. Our advertising plan begins with YouTube, but we desire to expand to other platforms such as TV commercials. We need your help to get there. Finally, I need your help to promote Move the Water to your local government officials. If you are living in an area where there is a desert depression, which can be filled with water, your government official needs to know that filling it will reduce global warming. They need to understand that this will work to reverse climate change. They need to understand that this is not expensive. They need to understand that there are additional benefits to moving the water beyond reversing global warming. By bringing the water to a desert, we are bringing life to the desert, rehydrating the biome, making it a place friendly for flora and fauna, and for humans. Use any method available to you to get the message to your representative so they can identify that this is an issue which is desired by many people. That is how we will get this work done. Thank you very much for listening.